Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're counting down the top 20 best Nintendo Switch games of all time. These are the games that define this console and show why the Switch has become one of Nintendo's most successful systems. Let's jump right into it. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is the biggest crossover fighting game ever made, featuring over 80 playable characters from Nintendo's history and beyond. The game takes the classic Smash formula, where you fight on platforms trying to knock opponents off the stage, rather than depleting a health bar, and it refines it to near perfection. You'll build up damage percentage on your opponents, making them fly further with each hit, until you can launch them off screen for a KO. The roster is insane, from Mario and Link to characters like Joker from Persona 5, Sephiroth from Final Fantasy, and even Minecraft Steve. Each fighter has their own unique moveset based on their original games, so you're really playing dozens of different playstyles. The single-player World of Light mode has you traveling across a map, fighting spirit battles that change up the rules in creative ways, like fighting a giant Donkey Kong on a stage that's constantly moving. Online play lets you test your skills against players worldwide, and local multiplayer with up to 8 players creates absolute chaos. The game runs smoothly, whether you're playing handheld or docked, and with all the DLC included in later versions, you get the complete package. Animal Crossing New Horizons drops you on a deserted island as part of Tom Nook's Getaway package, and from there, you build your own paradise at your own pace. There's no real story to follow or end goal to reach. Instead, you create your own experience by decorating your island, making friends with animal villagers who move in, and participating in seasonal events throughout the year. The game runs in real time, so it follows your actual clock and calendar, meaning different fish and bugs appear depending on the month and time of day. You'll spend your time gathering resources like wood and stone, crafting furniture and tools, catching creatures to donate to the museum, and designing your island however you want. The terraforming feature lets you reshape cliffs and rivers, giving you complete control over your island's layout. Visiting other players' islands online or having friends visit yours adds a social element that became incredibly popular. The game doesn't rush you or punish you for taking breaks. If you don't play for a week, you just pick up where you left off. Luigi's Mansion 3 has Luigi and his friends invited to a fancy hotel for a vacation, but it turns out to be a trap set by King Boo, who captures everyone except Luigi. Now, Luigi has to work his way up the hotel's haunted floors to rescue Mario, Peach, and the Toads, while dealing with ghosts on every level. You're equipped with the Poltergust G00, a superpowered vacuum that sucks up ghosts after you stun them with your flashlight's strobe function. The combat feels satisfying because you need to dodge ghost attacks, flash them at the right moment to stun them, then vacuum them up while they struggle to escape. The big addition here is Gooigi, a gooey clone of Luigi that you can summon to slip through grates, walk on spikes, and help solve puzzles. Each floor of the hotel has a completely different theme. One floor is a movie set, another is a pirate ship. There's even a dinosaur museum floor. The puzzles involve using both Luigi and Gooigi together, like having one hold a door open while the other goes through. You can play the whole game in co-op with a friend controlling Gooigi, which makes the experience even better.
Where are you?
Live Alive is a classic JRPG that was originally only released in Japan, now remade with beautiful HD 2D graphics that mix pixel art characters with detailed 3D environments. The game is structured into 7 different chapters, set in completely different time periods: prehistory, ancient China, feudal Japan, the Wild West, present day, near future, and distant future. Each chapter follows a different protagonist with their own story that seems unconnected at first, but eventually ties together in a final chapter. The combat system uses a grid-based battlefield where positioning matters. You need to think about range, movement, and timing rather than just selecting attack commands. Some chapters focus on combat and dungeon crawling, while others emphasize stealth or have almost no battles at all, keeping each scenario feeling fresh. The prehistoric chapter has no dialogue and tells its story through actions and grunts, while the shinobi chapter lets you choose between sneaking past enemies or fighting everyone. You can play the chapters in any order you want, and each one is relatively short, taking about 2 to 3 hours to complete. The remake keeps the original's fantastic soundtrack while updating the visuals to look stunning on modern displays.
Don't try to run away!
Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door is a remake of the beloved GameCube RPG, where Mario is on a quest to find the 7 crystal stars and save Princess Peach from the X-Nauts. The game takes place in Rogueport, a rough port town that serves as your hub, and you'll travel to various locations, like a fighting arena, a spooky forest, and a luxury train. The story has genuine humor and charm, with memorable characters and plot twists that keep you engaged throughout the 30-plus-hour adventure. Combat uses a turn-based system with timed button presses. If you hit the button at the right moment when attacking, you deal extra damage, and if you time it right when enemies attack, you take less damage. This keeps battles interactive, instead of just selecting menu options. Your partner characters like Goombella, Koops, and Vivian have their own abilities, both in battle and for solving environmental puzzles. The paper theme isn't just visual. Mario can fold into a paper airplane, roll up into a tube, or turn sideways to slip through cracks. The badge system lets you customize Mario's abilities by equipping different badges that use up BP. So you're constantly deciding between more health, stronger attacks, or unique skills. Astral Chain is set in a future where humanity lives in a massive city called the Ark, the last refuge from interdimensional creatures called chimeras. You're a rookie officer in Neuron, a special police task force, and you gain the ability to control legions, captured chimeras that fight alongside you while connected by a chain. The story follows you and your twin sibling investigating the source of the chimera attacks, while uncovering conspiracies within the city. Combat is where this game shines. You control your character while simultaneously directing your legion, creating combos by coordinating attacks between both. You can wrap the chain around enemies to bind them, use it to deflect projectiles, or even trip up larger foes by positioning your legion strategically. You unlock 5 different legion types throughout the game, each with unique abilities. The Sword Legion is fast and aggressive. The Arrow Legion shoots from range. The Arm Legion breaks through barriers, the Beast Legion lets you ride it for speed, and the Axe Legion is slow but powerful. Outside of combat, you'll investigate crime scenes, using your Legion's abilities to find clues, question witnesses, and track down suspects. The game balances intense action with detective work, and light platforming sections.
This is PD-025. I need backup ASAP. I found someone who needs evac. We've got an officer down. Someone come give me a hand over here.
Pokémon Legends Arceus takes place in the ancient Hisui region, which eventually becomes the Sinnoh region from Diamond and Pearl, during a time when Pokémon and humans rarely interacted peacefully. You're brought to this era by a mysterious force, and join the Galaxy team's Survey Corps to create the region's first Pokédex by studying wild Pokémon. The game completely changes the traditional Pokémon formula by putting you directly in large open areas where Pokémon roam freely and can attack you if you're not careful. You can catch Pokémon without battling them by sneaking through tall grass and throwing Pokéballs at the right moment. Or you can battle to weaken them first. The battle system is revamped, with a turn order display showing who attacks next, and moves can be used in strong style for more damage but slower speed, or agile style for less damage but attacking faster. Completing Pokédex entries requires more than just catching. You need to observe Pokémon using specific moves, catch them at different times, or defeat them multiple times. The story involves helping settle the region while dealing with frenzied, noble Pokémon that have lost control and need to be calmed through boss battles, where you dodge attacks and throw bombs.
Metroid Prime Remastered brings the GameCube classic to Switch, with stunning visual upgrades and modernized controls that make this first-person adventure feel like it was made for this console. You play as Samus Aran, investigating a distress signal on the planet Talon 4, which has been corrupted by a mutagenic substance called Phazon. The game perfectly translates Metroid's exploration-focused gameplay into 3D. You'll navigate interconnected environments, gain new abilities that let you access previously unreachable areas, and gradually unlock the full map as you become more powerful. Combat happens from a first-person perspective, but this isn't a traditional shooter. It's more about carefully managing enemies while exploring and solving environmental puzzles. You'll use your arm cannon to shoot enemies and charge up for stronger shots, switch between different beam types that are effective against specific enemies, and use missiles for tougher foes. Scanning objects with your visor gives you lore information about the world, enemy weaknesses, and hints for puzzles. The Morph Ball ability lets you roll into tight spaces and drop bombs, opening up entirely new paths through areas you've already visited.
Recorded to logbook.
The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening is a full remake of the Game Boy Classic, where Link washes up on the mysterious Koholint Island after a storm at sea. The island's inhabitants tell him the only way to leave is to wake the Windfish, who sleeps in a giant egg on the mountain. But as you progress, you'll discover the island holds secrets that challenge everything you thought you knew. The game follows the traditional Zelda formula of exploring an overworld, finding dungeons, solving puzzles, and fighting bosses to collect instruments that will eventually wake the Windfish. Combat is straightforward, with your sword, shield, and various items you find throughout your adventure. You'll get classic items, like bombs, the hookshot, and the boomerang, each essential for both combat and puzzle solving. The puzzles and dungeons require you to observe your surroundings, push blocks in the right order, defeat enemies in specific ways, and use your items creatively. The game has a charming, toy-like art style, with everything looking like miniature dioramas, and the tilt-shift effect makes it feel like you're looking at a tiny world. The overworld is dense with secrets, hidden caves, heart pieces to increase your health, seashells to collect for rewards, and quirky characters to interact with.
Metroid Dread puts Samus on planet ZDR, after the Galactic Federation receives footage suggesting the dangerous X-parasites still exist there. When Samus arrives to investigate, she's attacked by a mysterious Chozo warrior named Ravenbeak, who strips her of her abilities and leaves her stranded deep underground. The game is a masterclass in Metroidvania design, where exploration and backtracking are core to progression. As you gain abilities like the Grapple Beam, Morph Ball, and various jumps, previously inaccessible areas open up. Combat is fast and aggressive, with Samus feeling more mobile than ever, thanks to the slide and free aim allowing you to shoot in any direction while moving. The melee counter from Samus returns and feels even better here. Timing a counter against an enemy's attack leaves them vulnerable for a devastating follow-up. Emmy Zones are the game's signature addition, sections where nearly indestructible robots hunt you relentlessly, forcing you to run, hide, and use your environment to escape, since you can't fight them. These sections create intense cat-and-mouse gameplay that breaks up the standard exploration and combat. Boss fights are challenging and require learning attack patterns, dodging precisely, and exploiting small windows to deal damage.
Super Mario Bros. Wonder brings 2D Mario into a completely new kingdom, called the Flower Kingdom, where Prince Florian asks Mario and friends for help after Bowser steals the Wonder Flower and fuses with his castle. The game introduces wonder effects that transform levels in wild and unpredictable ways. Pipes might suddenly grow legs and run away. You could turn into a Goomba. Gravity might flip. Or the entire art style changes mid-level. The new Elephant power-up lets you swing your trunk to smash blocks and spray water, while Bubble gives you the ability to trap enemies. You can equip badges that give you special abilities, like wall jumping or starting with a power-up, letting you customize your playstyle. The game has 12 playable characters, including Yoshi and Nabbit, who don't take damage, making it great for newer players. You can play with up to 4 players locally, and the online features let you see other players as ghosts who can help revive you. There are over 150 courses filled with secrets, multiple paths, and wonder seeds to collect. The level design is constantly surprising and creative, never repeating the same idea twice.
Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze has DK and his friends fighting to reclaim their island home after the Snowmads, a group of Arctic invaders, freeze it over and kick them out. This is a challenging 2D platformer where you run, jump, roll, and pound your way through 6 themed worlds filled with dangerous enemies and tricky platforming sections. You can play as Donkey Kong solo or team up with Diddy, Dixie, or Cranky Kong, each offering different abilities. Diddy has a jetpack for hovering, Dixie can use her hair to slow her fall, and Cranky can bounce on his cane like a pogo stick. The levels are packed with collectibles, like puzzle pieces and the letters KONG, scattered throughout, rewarding exploration. Boss fights against the Snowmad leaders are creative and require learning patterns to defeat. The game has some of the best music in any platformer, and every level feels unique, with mechanics that constantly change. On Switch, you can play as Funky Kong, who has more health and easier movement, making the game more accessible. The difficulty is high but fair, and levels flow beautifully once you learn them. Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury is 2 games in one package. The main game has Bowser kidnapping the Sprixie princess and taking her to another world, and Mario, along with Luigi, Peach, Toad, and Rosalina, must save her. The 3D World portion features tight, level-based platforming, where you run to the goal pole, similar to 2D Mario, but in 3D environments.
The catsuit power-up lets you climb walls and pounce on enemies, while other power-ups, like the double cherry, create duplicates of yourself. You can play with up to 4 players locally, creating chaotic fun as you work together or compete for points. Bowser's Fury is an entirely new open-world experience where you explore Lake Lapcat, collecting cat shines, while dealing with a giant, rage-filled Bowser who periodically appears and attacks. You team up with Bowser Jr., and the gameplay shifts between peaceful exploration and intense moments when Fury Bowser emerges. The open structure feels like a preview of future 3D Mario games. Both modes run smoothly and look great on Switch, with a variety between structured levels and open exploration giving you the best of both worlds. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe doesn't have a traditional story. You're competing in the Mushroom Kingdom Grand Prix racing tournament across various cups and tracks. This is the ultimate Mario Kart experience, with 48 tracks, including classics from previous games and new courses that use anti-gravity sections where you drive on walls and ceilings. You select from 42 characters and customize your kart with different bodies, wheels, and gliders that affect your speed, acceleration, and handling. The item system gives you weapons and tools based on your position. If you're in last place, you might get powerful items like the Spiny Shell or Lightning, while leaders get defensive items. The game runs at 60 frames per second and looks fantastic, whether docked or handheld. You can play locally with up to 4 players on one console, or go online for 12-player races. Battle mode returns with dedicated arenas and multiple game types like Balloon Battle and Shine Thief. The controls are easy to pick up, with optional smart steering and auto-accelerate for beginners, but the game has depth, with techniques like drifting and jump boosts for skilled players. Fire Emblem Three Houses puts you in the role of a teacher at the Officers' Academy in Garreg Mach Monastery, where you choose to lead one of 3 houses: the Black Eagles, Blue Lions, or Golden Deer. Each house has different students with their own personalities and backgrounds, and the story dramatically changes based on which house you pick. The first half involves teaching your students and building relationships, while small conflicts arise. But the second half jumps 5 years into the future, where a continent-wide war has broken out, and your former students are now commanders. Combat is turn-based tactical gameplay on grid maps, where positioning, weapon types, and terrain matter. You move your units around the battlefield, attack enemies when in range, and complete objectives like defeating all enemies or protecting a certain area. Between battles, you explore the monastery, talk to students and staff, train your units in different weapon types and skills, and build support relationships that unlock conversations revealing character backstories. The class system lets you train students into different roles, like mages, knights, or archers. Your choices throughout the game affect which characters live or die, and determine the ending you get. Each of the 3 routes offers 40 to 50 hours of gameplay, with different perspectives on the war. Kirby and the Forgotten Land is Kirby's first fully 3D adventure, where he gets sucked through a portal to a post-apocalyptic world filled with abandoned buildings and structures overtaken by nature. The Waddle Dees have been kidnapped by the Beast Pack, and Kirby must rescue them while figuring out the mysteries of this forgotten civilization. The game transitions Kirby's classic copyability gameplay into 3D environments where you run around, inhale enemies to copy their powers, and use those abilities to fight and solve puzzles. You get abilities like Sword, Fire, Ice, and Drill, but the new Mouthful mode lets Kirby inhale large objects he can't swallow. You can become a car to drive around, a vending machine to shoot cans, or a traffic cone to pierce through obstacles. Each level has Waddle Dees to rescue and hidden collectibles to find, encouraging exploration. The hub world, called Waddle Dee Town, grows as you rescue more Waddle Dees, unlocking shops and minigames. Boss fights are creative and fun without being too difficult. The game supports 2-player co-op, where the second player controls Bandana Waddle Dee with his spear. It's a perfect entry point for younger players or people new to gaming, while still being enjoyable for experienced players.
Super Mario Galaxy plus Super Mario Galaxy 2 brings together two of the most imaginative 3D platformers ever made, fully remastered for a modern audience. Both adventures capture the magic of exploration, as Mario leaps between tiny planets, uses gravity in inventive ways, and discovers new ways to navigate cosmic landscapes. The first game still shines with its whimsical use of power-ups, like Bee Mario and Cloud Mario, while the sequel builds on everything, with faster pacing, sharper level design, and Yoshi's clever mechanics that expand movement and puzzle variety. The collection enhances the visuals and controls for the Switch, allowing both traditional and motion input, while adding a smoother interface, orchestral music player, and optional storybook extras that deepen the experience. Whether revisiting these classics or discovering them for the first time, the pairing stands as a showcase of Nintendo's creative peak. Two timeless adventures that redefine how playful, emotional, and ambitious platforming can be, in a galaxy far beyond the Mushroom Kingdom.
Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is set in Ionios, a world where two nations, Keves and Agnes, are locked in endless war. Soldiers are born from pods with only 10 years to live, spending their entire lives fighting before their term expires. You control 6 soldiers, 3 from each nation, who meet during battle and discover their colonies were being manipulated. They join together to find the truth behind their world and the war, while being hunted by both sides as traitors. The combat is real-time but strategic, where you control one character while AI handles your party, and you can switch between characters freely. Each character has a class that determines their role as attacker, defender, or healer, and they build up energy to perform powerful arts and chain attacks. The Ouroboros system lets pairs of characters fuse into powerful forms for limited time. You can change each character's class to learn different abilities, creating customizable builds. The world is massive, with stunning environments to explore, filled with side quests that develop your party members and the world's lore. The story tackles themes about the meaning of life, living beyond your predetermined role, and finding hope in a seemingly hopeless situation. It's a huge game, taking 70 to 100 hours to complete.
Super Mario Odyssey starts with Bowser knocking Mario off his airship during another kidnapping of Princess Peach, this time planning to force her into marriage. Mario teams up with Cappy, a ghost-like hat creature whose sister was also kidnapped to be Peach's wedding tiara. Together, they chase Bowser across various kingdoms in the Odyssey airship. The game's big innovation is the capture mechanic. Throwing Cappy onto enemies and objects lets you possess and control them. You can become a T-Rex to smash through walls, a Bullet Bill to fly across gaps, a Goomba to stack with others, or even a tank to destroy obstacles.
Each kingdom is a large sandbox area filled with power moons to collect, and there are over 800 moons total hidden throughout the game. Some moons are easy to spot. Others require solving puzzles, completing challenges, or exploring secret areas. Mario has an expanded moveset, with moves like the dive, roll, and various hat throw techniques that can be combined for advanced movement. The kingdoms range from realistic cities like New Donk City to fantastical places like a food-themed kingdom or a desert filled with ruins. After beating the main story, each kingdom unlocks even more moons and harder challenges. The game is packed with references to Mario's history and rewards curiosity.
The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and Tears of the Kingdom. Breath of the Wild begins with Link waking up after 100 years in a shrine, learning that Calamity Ganon destroyed Hyrule and killed the champions, while Princess Zelda has been holding Ganon back in Hyrule Castle. You must regain your strength and free the divine beasts to finally defeat Ganon. Tears of the Kingdom picks up after those events when Link and Zelda discover an ancient evil beneath the castle. Their investigation accidentally releases Ganondorf, causing Hyrule Castle to rise and shattering the land. These games revolutionized open-world design by letting you go anywhere from the start. You can climb any surface if you have stamina, glide with a paraglider, and approach objectives in any order. The physics system lets fire spread, metal conduct electricity, and objects react realistically. In Breath of the Wild, you use runes like bombs, magnesis, and stasis to solve puzzles and fight creatively. Tears of the Kingdom adds new abilities. Ultra Hand lets you build machines by sticking objects together. Fuse combines weapons with materials. Ascend lets you phase through ceilings, and Recall reverses object movement. Both games feature weapon durability, forcing you to constantly try new equipment. Tears expands the world vertically, with sky islands above and a massive underground area below. Shrines scattered across Hyrule provide bite-sized puzzle challenges that reward stamina or health upgrades. The games trust you to experiment and find your own solutions to problems.
And there you have it, the 20 best Nintendo Switch games of all time. From creative platformers to massive open-world adventures, the Switch library really has something for everyone. Let me know in the comments which game is your favorite, and if you think I missed any that should have made the list. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.